Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Whilst Celtic have just announced that they're going to make they're going to say something at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's going to be the away strip, isn't it? I don't know whether either that or it's going to be merchandise for pool players in America. You never know. It could be brand new merchandise for pool players. It could be... It's not a player anyway, because Jota's our number 7. Unless they're going to make an announcement on when Jota's coming back. I doubt that the case though. The fact that they've mentioned Adidas in that, it does mean it's merchandise. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be even more merch. So... number 8 AM, number 7 on the ball. It's to let us know we're snookered. The black strip. Will it be a black strip? Pool table range of... Who knows with Celtic anymore? It's people will say just get bloody players in. Anyway, there's a bit of good news. There is a bit of good news for Celtic. Somebody said to me today, love the channel, but it's always bad news. Well, it's not really bad news. Before I go into the good news, I want to talk about that comment, because I think it's more a dose of reality, if anything. And it doesn't mean to be negative. I just think that I talk about the things that are the reality for Celtic fans. Now, Stephen McGowan, he done an article today, and Stephen McGowan's article was very scathing, and some may say negative. He says Celtic are spending like a club in the throes of buyer's remorse. Is that I'm having a moan about the transfer window and about Celtic and the lack of business with Celtic, or is it just facts? Is it fact? I mean, Celtic are spending like they've got the heebie-jeebies after spending all the money they did last year. And Lawwell's sitting shaking in his boots. And to be fair, I don't want to go on about it too long, because there's quite some good news tonight. But anyway, it does go on to talk about the fact that Adam Ida scored 21 goals, but at £9 million, that record-breaking amount, it cuts deep within a certain fan base. Within some of the fan base and the boardroom, the fact that he's not a prolific 21 goals for Adam Ida was fantastic last season, if you ask me. I mean, that's a half decent return on goals, and I just don't see, considering the amount of games that he played, I think it was fantastic. It was 11 or 12 more than he scored the season before when he was on loan for half the season. And he never played every single game. He came on as a sub the majority of them until obviously Kyogo left. But even then, he wasn't number one striker. We went with Dyson Maeda. So he's then playing back up again. But to still hit 21 goals, I think is fantastic. And then he given an assessment of Austin Trusty. And he said that if an English club offered $6 million for Austin Trusty, that Celtic would snap their hands off. He then goes on to say if Dermot's made up his mind basically about spending large sums of money, is it back to the bargain bucket days for Celtic? Players like Inamura, 250 grand. Look, we're going to get another left back in. I'm not too concerned about Inamura playing left back. That was only see when you think about it, right? Towards the end of last season, we played in midfield with a left back. The final game of the season, the Scottish Cup final, we ended up playing a left back in midfield because we were that short on players that game. But anyway, there's a bit of good news because Celtic are due to get some more money in the bank. Hurrah, you say, and it's not from the merchandise that they're going to release tomorrow morning at 8 PM Celtic Park time. No, it's from Ben Doak. Now, I've been looking into the training compensation laws, and The RSTP Article 20 Annex 4 regulates that training compensation. In short, training compensation is paid by the new club to the clubs that trained the player between the ages of 12 and 21. Ben Doak is 19 years old and he's on the verge of being sold by Liverpool for 25 million. It then goes on, this article then goes on to say, each time a professional is transferred internationally outside his home country, not internationally between teams, but outside his home country. So every time Ben Doak is sold between now and his 23rd birthday, Celtic get a kickback. Dancer, even more cash. The basic principle, it says, is the new club must pay a training compensation whenever a player signs his first professional contract, and each time the player transferred between clubs of two different national associations. Now, I don't know how that works with the fact that he's going to be still in England. Maybe Celtic don't get money. I need to look into that a bit more. But however, according to Annex 4, Article 2, Section 2, no compensation shall be paid if the player's contract was terminated. That's a load of shite. The European Court of Justice concluded that the right of a club to claim transfer compensation on his... No, it's not that. But it looks like Celtic could get a kickback. We'll wait and see. That's a bit of good news, since someone said. Any news on the Italian striker? No, there's news that we're meant to be bringing in an Italian left back before we bring in any Italian striker. I'm not adding to any speculation until it's done and dusted. Can he be a bargain bucket? No, you've got to get the boneless bucket, Michelle. The bargain bucket, you can't be dealing with the bones and stuff. It's got to be a boneless bucket rather than a bargain bucket. Just saying. Every season we spend a lot less than we bring in. Yeah. I hope you're enjoying the new top fans thing. I've been waiting on and currently at number 1 is Dan Cassie on 100 XP, 100 points. So there's a few people not far behind him that could overtake Dan Cassie to become the top fan of the evening. I've been waiting on YouTube rolling this out in the UK. I know that they rolled it out in America and other countries. So yeah, it's interesting to see this on the channel. I got a notification, I think a couple of days ago, that they were going to do it. Bargain buckets to the Celtic board. Poundland these days. It's not Poundland. But anyway, it was an interesting piece that McCown wrote, and he writes it with the fact that Celtic could be the first club. Celtic could become the first Scottish club to have reserves in the bank of over £100 million. That puts us up there as one of the most profitable clubs in the world. It puts us up in the top 10. I think we're something like 8th when it comes to the most profitable clubs. If we're sitting with that kind of money in the bank, fans will ask the question, and it's not negativity. I mean, it's fans will ask the question. Spend some money, speculate to accumulate, get the better players in. Well, maybe they're going to do that. Maybe Brendan Rodgers is banking the brownie points to get in a decent player. Anyway, we'll wait and see. And in Nottingham Forest, they're the ones that are joining the race to sign Liverpool's Ben Doak for 25 million. So it'll be interesting to see if Celtic do get a bit of kickback from that. So that then takes us to the 8 a.m. at Adidas with a 7 ball. Every time the Celtic make an announcement, they tease an announcement, and we need Mr. Kipling in charge of our transfers to sign exceedingly good players. Square Sausage Mick has just won the internet tonight. Oh God. Celtic FC sponsored by KFC, bunch of buck chickens too scared to take a risk. No point in having 100 million in the bank and being pished to watch, says Big Bruce. I want to move on from that, because yesterday, Sunday, was a fantastic day for Brendan Rodgers and the current team, because they went to the stadium where this happened. Yes, no one can ever take away the fact that Celtic were the first club from the United Kingdom to win the European Cup. We won the big cup and we brought it home. And the picture with Billy McNeil is iconic. And I think Billy looks bemused that they actually won it in that picture. And it was absolutely fantastic. And it must have been something else for Brendan Rodgers and the boys to walk through that iconic tunnel. Walk up the tunnel and step onto the park where legends were made. And I wonder what Brendan Rodgers said to them. I wonder what Brendan Rodgers ultimately said to the players. I mean, it would have been fantastic to have been there. And you seen the video that Celtic put out. It was a case of, I wonder what he said. Because ultimately, dare to dream, lads. Dare to dream. On this pitch, this very, very pitch, players from Celtic FC dared to dream and do the impossible, and that was to win the big cup and bring it home. It's not out with the realms of, if you get a good run, if we get good players, and the manager gets a bit of luck, that we can get to the later stages. And if that, taking the players to that pitch, taking the players onto that pitch, must have been such a proud moment for Brendan Rodgers. And not just Brendan Rodgers. A video of pictures that soon, no doubt, they will put a video out to purchase. But it must have been amazing for some of the younger Celtic players. And I think the ones who would have felt it most would ultimately have been some of the younger players that have came through the system at Celtic, that are Celtic fans. The likes of Callum McGregor, the likes of Kieran Tierney, Tony Ralston. They'll understand exactly what the enormity of what the players did. And all the younger players that have spent years working their way up through the ranks at Celtic to be with the team. And I think it's the first time that the first team has ever stepped foot on the pitch as a unit since that day. And I think it would mean so much to those younger players. And the buzz that they would have got for that, you come in, it would be selfie mad. We stood on the pitch. It's not the fact that they just went and they stood on that pitch and they went to the stadium. It's the fact that they done it as a collective unit. And it was the walking up the stairs. You could feel the anticipation, the quietness. Everybody talking really quiet as they were walking up the stairs, and then just looking around and thinking, "Wow, unbelievable! They did it. What can we achieve?" And then I hope that Brendan Rodgers then went to they would have sat down for Sunday lunch after that and had a meal and still been speaking about it. Hearing stories from Callum McGregor and all the other lads that are Celtic through and through, telling Paulo Bernardo, telling him exactly what happened in this ground. Give Paulo Bernardo a bit of a buzz. Do you know what I mean? And that could give Celtic that little bit edge. And hopefully we see that on Wednesday night. Hopefully we see that edge on Wednesday night. Could we get your XP to buy players and back the board? Stephen Johnston's trying to jump straight up into the number one spot. Go on yourself, mate. Stephen Johnson's just outdone Dan Cassie and jumped straight into the number one spot with a £10 super chat. Good evening all in the Celtic family. Can Stephen Johnson be undone tonight as the top Varens yeah, that's quite fun, that, isn't it? Let's jump into the comments. Kaiser, I would have been bawling my eyes out if a line was there to lead the squad into the tunnel and onto the park. I think that would have been the ultimate if Celtic could have got one of the remaining lines over. And I know that they're a bit older now and they're not keeping too well, but the lunch bill was taken off the player buying the player buying budget. Oh Jesus! Don't say that, Stephen Johnson. What are you on about, mate? Stephen, you'll see this little sign. There's a little hashtag number 1 next to your name. It's a new thing that YouTube have put out, and you're currently the top fan. I'll take a screenshot so you can see it. Give me 2 seconds and I'll put it up on the screen for you, mate. I think it's quite cool. I've seen it on a couple of other channels, and I was waiting on YouTube releasing it to UK YouTubers. 5 browse. And that's what it looks like there, mate. You are number 1, right at the top. You've just beat Dan Cassie, who's now been pushed down into 2nd place. You've went way up. 775 XP points. Legendary. Absolutely legendary stuff, Stephen. Brilliant. You'll be the top fan for tonight. I think it is just a little bit of fun with YouTube, but it's making them look a bit more like TikTok. But it's engaging. It is engaging. But let's get back to those guys walking up that tunnel. I mean, you could see Rio Hatate sort of just trying to look out up the tunnel, and he's like, the anticipation from Rio Hatate as well. You know, all these Japanese players, the history. Japanese players love the history side of it. You know, they love historical facts and things, and you know, they get a buzz out of that thing, that type of stuff. And they would have been loving it. You know, him and Daiz Maeda, they have a respect for that kind of stuff. It's in their nature. Do you know what I mean? It's respecting your elders and everything that goes with that. And to be there on the pitch where players did it, is just unbelievable. Chilpill's in the house. Hail. Are we on negative mode tonight or good vibes? Good vibes all the way. Good vibes all the way. Stephen Johnson is on fire. Dan Cassie was number 1 top fan tonight until Stephen Johnson done a £10 super chat, and that got him way up into 1st place. No one's beating him tonight. No one's beating Stephen Johnson. He's going to be the top fan, and I need to get away of putting that onto the screen. How can you get it onto the screen? Moderation activity. Nope. Pop out chat. Oh, wait a minute. Can I cut and paste this onto the... This is a new thing. Yeah, YouTube's changed a lot of things. Timestamps. Well, look, you can even get the timestamp. You can get the exact time that people said something. I'll keep that on, just for banter. That's a new one as well. Anyway, Stephen Johnson, hey Baz, sorry, have I done something wrong? No, Stephen, you've not done anything wrong, mate. You are a superstar. Kaiser, I sent you the VOD, Baz? The VOD? Well, you've sent me vodka? Why? I usually only drink that once or twice a year. What do you mean vid? Kaiser's right. Stephen Johnson, you've done absolutely nothing wrong. It's just there's a new thing on YouTube in it, and it's absolutely brilliant. No, it's not going to let me see. Timestamp, take off the timestamp, top fans. Anyway, if the squad ever needed a bit of togetherness and strength in the new season, standing on a pitch where history was made with 11 men in the lines. Exactly. I think it's you should drink more Basel. I think that it was brilliant that they did that yesterday. I mean, obviously Brendan Rodgers did say that yesterday was their day off, and I think it was fantastic that they went over to that pitch and just stood there and just took it in. Do you know what was achieved? What was achieved on the park in this ground? You know, and they're training just yards away from it. Strength through our history, yep. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think it was brilliant, and I think that I'm just waiting now to see what Celtic are going to do tomorrow morning. Oh, that's a Stephen Johnson one, because Celtic have teased this. Oh, it's more merchandise, isn't it? It is more merchandise. It is what it is. I think it's going to be, if it's nothing to do with pool, it has to be the third kit. But then you never know with Celtic. I mean, they've brought out the American merchandise set. Playing basketball and baseball and stuff. Do you know, it's maybe going to be, I don't know, it's maybe going to be a snooker player. I have no idea. It's a pool ball. It's a number 7 black pool ball. So, we're going to have to wait. Celtic just love winding everyone up, don't they? It is what it is. It's unbelievable. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers has guaranteed his Kieran Tierney backup plan as a player looks to be heading to Celtic, a Portuguese left back. Will we sign an Italian defender, or will we sign Lennon Miller? Because there is chat that Lennon Miller, actually am I on this? No. I'm on the wrong one. Can't go into that one. Definitely on the wrong one. Anyway, other than that, there's not a lot of Celtic news going around tonight. It's the same transfer stuff that's been going around for days now. There's no use going over it because you're just going over old ground. It is all going to be about who plays on Wednesday night. That's going to be the big one. And the way that was set up. Will Brendan Rodgers set up with a 4-3-3, or will he set up with the way that he did the other day, with Rio Hatate going into a more forward position, Celtic playing in a more diamond shape in the midfield, and Rio Hatate going up to sort of double up with the striker? Could that be a change of formation that's going to come in this season more often? We'll just need to wait and see, really, won't we? But we digress. Just say, I'm sick of listening about Lennon Miller. Celtic tuxedos. Did Jota leak his kit? I don't know who leaked the picture of him. I'm not too sure, but I've absolutely no idea. It has to be merchandise of some kind that Celtic will believe in. Has Shin Yamada played his last game yet? Plays that tomorrow, Michelle. He plays that tomorrow evening, I believe, or tomorrow sometime. I've no idea what time, but it was the 15th. I definitely know it was the 15th. Chilpel, if we sign him, it's going to come back to bite you in the bum, that one, won't it? He's not good enough for Celtic. But we need to wait and see what's going to happen. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if Celtic are maybe going to put out more of the videos of the Celtic team. And you know what? Do you know if you're Celtic TV, like what you do is you take Brendan Rodgers up those steps, right? And you talk to the manager, and you get the manager doing his speech to the players, and you video that, and then you go around every single player, and you talk about the Champions League, you talk about the Lisbon Lions and the fact that they did it here and how they feel. You've got a friggin' enough content off of that one little visit to do Celtic about a 45-minute video. But then you know what Celtic are like. They're going to put it on Celtic TV and they're going to charge you $5.99 to watch it. Exactly what's going to happen. But it doesn't matter because it's the way that Celtic do it. But I just think that I wish they'd put out just a little bit more. Tease the fans. You know, hear what Brendan had to say standing in that iconic stadium. You know, rather than waiting to the end of the season, you know, give us a bit just now. Get something to get the fans motivated, because as it stands just now, the fans, if it's another merchandise drop tomorrow morning, if it's another merchandise drop tomorrow morning, I tell you, I'm going to go all out and see if I can get sponsored by the Green Edition Red Bull, because if Celtic can milk it this much from Adidas, I've better be able to do something with Red Bull, because honestly, check your DMs on Twitter. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I've seen that strip. I put that up the other day, Michelle. That was the strip that had been leaked. That was the away strip. I put that up a couple of days ago on the channel. That was the strip that had been leaked. I'll put it up. I mean, is it going to be that? I mean, the fact that Celtic have... wait a minute, I'll put it up on the screen. The fact that it's already been out there, the leak of... that could be the number 7. Save. And maybe it's just Celtic with a sense of humour. See if it is. See if it's just the away strip and they're actually just taking the piss that Jota was... I mean, that must have come out of Celtic. If it is the case that this is what's getting leaked and it's Jota laughing and this is just Celtic taking the piss, it's one of the worst ever marketing ploys ever. Do you know, whoever's in charge of these marketing at Celtic, I mean, what you would do is you would put a countdown timer on or something, right? You put a countdown timer on, and it's a countdown timer to the event. You don't put a picture of a fucking pool cue up, a pool ball with a number 7, and then Adidas. I mean, that tells you it's going to be merchandise all day long. Now, Jota's the number 7. He's pissed himself laughing in the picture. That's it. That picture's been released by someone inside Celtic. You know, it's the way that it is. Who knows? It's going to be something else. If it is. Yeah, I'm convinced that's it as well, Michelle. You know, the number 7, black striped. It's pish marketing. I'm sorry. I mean, I've done marketing for 25 years now, and I mean, I've done some horrendous marketing strategies over the years, but that just bites the bullet. Anyway, how long have we been on? Top fans tonight is the number 1 top fan. Why is it not showing up now? Timestamps, top fans. Stephen Johnson is the number 1 top fan this evening. He comes in at 775 XPs, whatever they are. Dan Cassie's in at number 2. He was riding the wave for so long on the beginning of the chat with 100 XPs. Saneri's managed to get up into 3rd position with 75 XPs, which pushed Carter down into 4th place. Mikey Boy 67 got pushed down into 5th place. Gemma got pushed down into 6th place. Mark, he's in 7th place, and Mars in 8th place, and then it goes on. But anyway, that is me done and dusted for tonight. It's a grand old community, it is that. What was Jota's injury anyway? It was it not his knee or something? I can't remember. No, it was a ligament. It was a ligament, wasn't it? Ligament. Anyway, still Originals 4th Elite kit to come out and rinse even more. Yeah, there is that. So we'll wait till tomorrow morning and see exactly. By the time that we will go live at 9 a.m. Celtic Park time, Celtic will have made the announcement, and we'll see exactly what all this is all about. But for me, it wasn't the Tuesday announcement that was the big thing. And it definitely isn't Jota in that strip. For me, it has been unbelievable that Celtic took to this stadium, the exact stadium where they won the big cup and they brought it home. And I think for every Celtic fan that's ever been to that stadium, they take it in and they think about it, and they think about all the people that went there, all the people that drove from Glasgow, drove in buses, drove in cars, made their way over to Lisbon to watch that game by any means. People that are no longer with us that travel to watch that game. Friends, family, relatives. Whilst their memories fade, the memories of the 67 team will never, ever fade from Celtic. And I'm so glad that Brendan Rodgers managed to take the team, the first Celtic manager to take his team onto that pitch as a collective since that day. What an amazing achievement. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.